Yo, what is going on, everyone? I just quickly want to mention that only 2% of the people who watch my videos are subscribed, so if you guys aren't one of them, you already know what to do. Hey guys, welcome back to another video on my channel, and today guys, I'm going to be showing you and explaining to you the best way to get your first solo win. Now, this video is mainly for solos, like I said. Some of these tips will apply to trios and squads, but it's mainly for solo. And one more thing guys, if you're trying to get a win in any game when it doesn't matter to you, then obviously play trios or squads, as it is much easier with better players, especially if you're a newer player. But with that being said, if you want to desperately get a solo win, keep on watching this video and I promise you I'll help you out, and some of these tips and tricks will get you to that number one last player standing spot. Alright guys, so the first thing you want to really think about is the landing spot. You want to land at the same spot consistently just so you get used to the area and the looting route, and you know what I mean. If you keep on landing at the same spot, you will know where the chest is, where the chest spawns are, you know, where the floor loot spawns, and you will have a better idea of the area and know how to navigate to different houses. So like I said, first thing you want to do is concentrate on that landing spot. Obviously don't pick something like super far from everyone where you will just get like one pistol or something, you know. Try to land around vendors so you could buy those UAVs and supply crates much faster and easier. So your main goal after you land is to find as much cash as you can. And the reason I say that is because in this game, your loadout drop is the most important weapons that you need, and after you get it, there's no point of going further on looting up. And what I mean by that is when you get your loadout, you don't need any other weapon. Like, that is the weapon you're gonna have for the rest of the game. Yes, looting for more cash is a good idea to get those UAVs and self-res kits and armor plates, but you could also do contracts, which brings me into my next tip, and that is to land on contracts. I know a lot of people don't do this, but I think it is a very good idea, especially the bounty contracts, because as soon as you're landing in and pick up a bounty, there's a very good chance that your bounty will die off spawn, especially if they're going to a more popular spot like Superstore or downtown. So you never know, you might get lucky and pick up a bounty and he will die within like a minute or so, and you will get that 1,000 cash, or depending on how much your contract is worth. Okay guys, so after you've got enough cash, like I said previously, the first thing you want to buy is obviously a loadout drop. Now, I would really recommend you to avoid using snipers if you're desperately going for a win, and the reason for that is because a sniper is a very risky weapon to use, and what I mean by that is that anyone can see that glint. Like, if you don't use a sniper scope with the glint on your sniper, then the sniper is useless because it's literally like an AR that shoots super slow. But if you use a scope that has glint, you have the chance of people seeing you and targeting you. And most people who use a sniper tend to camp in houses or mountains, which is also not a very good idea because you could easily get targeted and even sniped by someone else because you always stay scoped in. Now, like I said guys, I'm not telling you to never use the sniper. I'm just recommending you not to use it. As of my experience, I really found it much easier to win solos without a sniper. It doesn't carry you away and you are more on guard at most times. Basically what I'm trying to say is that you pay way more attention to the game if you're not using a sniper. Another quick tip guys is to use Ghost. I'm telling you guys, those UAVs and heartbeat sensors always get you killed if you don't use Ghost, especially if you're a lower rank player. And what I mean by that is that if you tend to sit in one spot for a long time, people will catch on to you with those UAVs and heartbeat sensors. So if you're one of those more passive players that likes to sit on one spot for a decent amount of time, then definitely use Ghost. If you're trying to have one house to yourself and just stand there until you get pushed by zone, then like I said, definitely have Ghost, which will keep you alive for much longer and will make you invisible to UAVs and heartbeat sensors. Another good idea to keep in mind is to place down mines or claymores at enemy corpses when you kill them, and honestly, it is such a good thing, especially when the enemy has a claymore or a mine. And what I mean by that is when you eliminate an enemy and they have their own claymores, all you do is pick them up and just throw them on their corpse. You never know who will walk by in that loot pile, or even if the enemy survives gulag and comes back for their loot, which obviously you will not sit on because it will bring much more attention to you. With that being said, guys, another great thing to do when you eliminate someone is to loot up as fast as possible and leave that area. Especially if you don't have a suppressed weapon or your enemy doesn't have any suppressed weapons either, your location will be exposed very easily and people will see you from a decent range. And what I mean by that is if you ever noticed a red dot on the minimap, that basically means that someone is firing a weapon from that spot. And you could easily pin them, which is my next tip, is to always pin people that are firing their weapons, because you will have a way better idea of where they are and where to watch out. Alright guys, and for one of my final tips is to always have at least 150 cash. And why I'm saying that is because if you have 150 cash, you could get extra shields, or 5 shields I should say, whenever you need them. If you have max shields and don't know what to spend your money on, like I said, always keep it in hand just in case someone sprays you, you win the fight and you need extra shields if they don't have some. And speaking about cash, guys, also try to buy self-res if you can afford it. I know self-res won't come in hand at most times, but you never know when that pesky sniper is going to be sitting on the roof of a house and headshot knocks you. And that self-revive kit could easily come in hand. You just climb behind any natural cover and just self-res and run away as far as you can so he doesn't snipe you again. Another thing to keep in mind, guys, about vehicles is that you don't really want to be using too much vehicles in solos, because that does bring a lot of attention to you, and especially with these C4s being so overpowered, people easily take down cars and you will die right away. Even if you have self-res, they will still come and finish you off and you won't have the chance to revive because it takes a while. Alright guys, and for my final tip is to try to be in center of zone in the first half of the game. And why I say that is because if you're in center of zone, you will always be in the next circle, or at least will have a way higher chance to be in middle circle, or in next zone I should say. And why I say that is because you never really want to be running around just to next zone. You know, there's always a chance of you getting lasered, especially in those big open areas. But if you're always in center circle, you will always be closer to the next circle than someone at the edge of the zone. But on the other hand, when zone shrinks, guys, like I said, you don't really want to be in center, because center zone is usually the main attraction of everyone, and you really want to be rotating with the storm, especially with this new update, guys. For those of you who didn't know, they added a new zone where the circle doesn't always go into the center. After the last zone, guys, the zone will start moving similar to like in Fortnite, where the zone just goes into the storm and the whole circle rotates just randomly out of the current circle, and it will just rotate back into the storm, just so those people who love camping in the center, especially if there's a house, will not have that advantage, and it is just going to be more random and more skill based. So with that being said, guys, I hope this video really helped you out. If it did or did not, comment below. Tell me some of the new things you learned in this video, and if you didn't, tell me in the comment sections below what you think are more great tips for winning solos. And with that being said, guys, that is pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.